with my head hanging down, 'cause my baby has left.
Okay, I've mounted a camera to a bike before and I didn't have success, so hopefully this time goes okay. I love using film frames in my work, and I've been wanting to make this effect for a while. So I've made a few presets inside DaVinci Resolve, as well as adding the opportunity to kind of make custom film frames and adding more texture and having it animated as well. So I'm really excited to dive in. Let's head home, jump on DaVinci Resolve on the computer, and I'll show you what exactly this effect does and how it works. Okay, before we get started, I just want to mention that if you're not editing in Resolve, which you probably should be, because Resolve is the best, there is just a PNG download, so you can just download the PNGs alone and not the DRFX file. So you get all the film frames along with some like bonus frames as well. And this comes with the DaVinci download as well, so you're not missing out, DaVinci folks. But yeah, you can download the PNG files separately and then get the actual film frames and use them in any editor that you like, or photos if that's your thing as well. But right now I'm going to take a look at this DRFX file inside Resolve. Okay, so let's have a look at how I made the frames for the intro sequence here. So I have them installed and you'll find them under Effects, Creative Herd, Film Frames. So I'm just going to drag this onto an adjustment clip. So right off the bat here, I just have a simple frame and I have 5 frames preloaded, all with 16:9 and 4:3 options. So it goes from clean to dirty. So you can see this is a 4:3 option, but then if I jump all the way down to the 5 4:3, you can see that the edges are now dirty. So why I'm so excited for this tool is that it kind of gives you unlimited options on like creating your frames. So I'm gonna pick a starting point, which maybe is like this guy is 2, it's pretty chill. There's a little bit of like fraying up in the corners here. I can choose to blur it out a little bit. And personally, for me, I think this actually like blends it into the actual image, and I prefer blurring it a bit rather than just having it like super crispy sharp on the edges. I feel like it takes away from the look versus like if you just like boost the blur a bit, it like just blends into the background. Let's go back here. I'm gonna dial it to like 1.5. And then the cool thing here is too, I'll drop down the other controls here. So we got color controls, really simple. So you can like dial in if you want, you know, white frames or whatever color you want. I'm gonna stay with black for now, but I've also added basically texture controls. So we're gonna toggle this on. You can see here the texture amount on the side, and you can basically just drag it up and you can see on the edges, it's just really distorting. So I don't know if you'd ever use max 100, but I've made it available to you. But yeah, I like anywhere between like 5 or maybe like 25. I think that's like a really good like texture that it provides. So right now I'm gonna go at like maybe 10. So to actually add texture into this plugin, I needed to crop in a little bit. So whenever you add on texture, it actually like crops the image a bit, or the actual frame, but you can kind of customize the look here if you want to bring it back to where it was by just coming up to these sliders and changing the height and width. So let's just find like a little happy medium here. So maybe like 9.5 for my height. And I want to open this up a little bit here. Yeah, maybe 1.1, you know? So it's like kind of like a custom aspect ratio that you're making. And then the last thing that I really think is cool is that I added texture animation. If you watch the edges here, and I'm going to turn the blur off just so you can really see what's going on here. And I'm going to turn up the texture amount. So let's go to 50 here. And if I scrub through here, you can see that the sides are actually moving. So now we have the texture, the actual frame moving, which I think is really cool, and I think adds like just more depth to it. Okay, so I just turned off the color grade so I could get better playback here. So I want to show you basically the animation speed on the edges here. So pay attention to the edges of the frame. So right now it's 1 every single frame. So you can see if you pay attention to the edges, it's constantly moving every single frame. So the default is 6. I really like the way this looks. It's not grabbing your attention too much, but it is moving. But you can go to like every 12 frames, which is also a cool look.
bump this up even further if you wanted to go to like every 24 frames. I think it adds a lot to the image if your frame is like moving and interacting with your clips. And again, you can pretty much customize every single thing about this: the color, the animation speed, and you can turn this all off. Obviously, adding the texture animation will add a little bit of render time. Just adding texture alone, like just these edges, won't. But yeah, turning on the animation, just be wary, will definitely add a little bit of extra render and playback time. But if you turn all this stuff off, it's super light. And yeah, I think it really helps to stylize your footage. I'm really excited that this is out now. So head to the description down below if you want to download it. And yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one.